And we are live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to a scene for Vampire the Masquerade Independence. We start this little soiree in the apartment building that was given to Samanya by one individual by the name of Camilla. Samanya, since coming into the city, has met several of the kindred, the prince, the very oddly placed Setite, and the Toreador, along with another individual by the name of Logan, who she hasn't pegged down on a particular clan as of yet. It seems that a trend of Samanya being barged in on is going to continue tonight. We have Sam in the bathroom where she deals with her prey, so to speak. And this evening she is sitting at the edge of the tub filled slightly with water, blood, and a mixture. And a young woman who has been in there for nearly a week now, still sewed with the mouth shut and laying there now, both arms stumps up to the elbow. Sam simply just sits stroking her hair, sort of humming a soft tune. We start our scene here.
There is a polite knock on the apartment door.
Sam hears this and looks up with a raised eyebrow. Takes a deep breath as she very gently sets the woman's head back onto the side of the tub as the victim, so to speak, whimpers slightly. No, don't you worry. I'll be back soon. I'll keep you company. And she steps up from the side of the tub and walking, shutting the door behind her, turning around just before she does, putting a lip to her fingers, before finally walking out and washing her hands in the kitchen sink before opening the door slightly with the chain lock engaged still.
She was greeted by the face of this man, who would be deemed very attractive in probably about 1940s, 1950s. Something mildly familiar about his face to her. The eyes especially.
I'm going to go ahead and make a perception roll, I guess. Alright, let's see if I can't pick up on that. Okay. That's right, that's one of those things I'm good at with this character. Okay, so for perception and alertness, I've got 4 successes. As she sort of studies this individual's face and the eyes.
The eyes are definitely familiar. They're very distinctive green eyes. You have met a woman with the same eyes before.
With the merit common sense, can I put two and two together fairly easily?
It seems like it would be very unlikely to you with common sense that two people would have identical Um, eyes like these, they're somewhat inhuman. Not as inhuman as yours, but
Sam will
uh,
sneer slightly and curl the lips up into a slight smirk. I'm sorry, but we're full up on crazy here. Can I help you?
and head is tilted. And I was just coming to check up on you, my dear. The voice is deeper.
I'm sorry, but I don't even know you, she says.
I am the landlord of this establishment.
Oh, no. You see, I've met the landlord, and the landlord is not quite as pretty as you.
I'm sure she would be deeply offended by that remark. And fingers curl around the edge of the door. And
Sam will just look at the fingers on the door, then look back to the individual. Rather impulsive and insistent, aren't we?
yes, I do usually get what I want, and at the moment I want to come in.
Well, at the moment, I don't know you. And at the moment, I don't see any reason to let you in through this door. You haven't been properly invited, good sir.
Hmm. The fingers are withdrawn.
Now, if you want to introduce yourself, we can start there and see if we're actually going to make friends or not.
The man reaches inside his jacket pocket and takes out a baby wipe or a makeup wipe, and wipes it down the left side of his face a few times until the makeup comes away and you see the familiar facial features of Camilla beneath. And it's a very impressive makeup job. It obviously takes a little bit of time, but it's well practiced. And
Sam will just sort of smile slightly. Well, at least we didn't have to go through that game for too long.
well, she sort of stood there now with sort of half one face, half the other. Tell me then, which one do you prefer?
I don't like change, she says blatantly as she closes the door enough just to get the chain lock off and then opens the door slightly, allowing Camilla the ability to enter.
Um, and Camilla, gradually, she takes off the makeup as she's walking through. Looks a little bit silly, half on, half off. So,
It's not a half bad disguise, Miss Camilla, but I should warn you that your eyes are a dead giveaway.
I I sometimes wear contact lenses, but I didn't wish to startle you too much.
Hmm. I had thought about letting you in if you had kept up the guys and then taking a nibble off of you, but I see it didn't have to come to that.
Oh, Christian is more dangerous than he looks. But
I'm sure you're more dangerous than you look.
Maybe.
Sam will close the door behind her and walk over to one of the couches and sort of sit down. So, Miss
How are you?
Camilla, care to join me?
Join you in what?
She looks at the couch sort of adjacent to her. I had thought you would sit down, but if there are other things you wish to do, I do believe there's a deck of cards here somewhere.
Camilla moves to the couch and sits down.
So what brings you to come visit me?
Wanted to see how you were doing.
Checking up on me. Doing fine, I suppose. As fine as anyone.
Have you had a chance to speak with any other?
Well, there was this redhead that did decide to make her way in here. Just barged right in, without even asking, and brought a rather nervous-looking friend with her. That was interesting. And then a night later, I met the prince and somebody with a very odd name, by the name of Crimson.
Ah. So, what did the prince make of you?
I'm not really sure if he made anything of me. I simply asked for permission to be here, and I do believe I got it.
Hmm.
I really didn't have to say much.
Camilla seems pleased by this. She smiles.
I'd almost say that I went through it with some sort of rose-like grace, but I think that my comparison would fall utterly short.
Well, that makes my capacity a little bit defunct, seeing as that I was going to make sure that you met the prince, but you've already done that.
That was quite by accident. I happened across, I guess it's an apothecary store, or something of an occult ilk. I'm not really sure. It's a little bit vague. But regardless, he was there, I was there. I simply informed him that I was not of the Camarilla and wished to join. And wouldn't you know it, that was all it really took, is just to simply say I'd like to exist here in this city following your traditions.
Well, I think as a whole it's a little bit more forgiving. You don't have to put yourself through any sort of initiation to be a member of the Camarilla. Simply follow the rules and be seen to follow the rules.
True, but that blanket statement that all are of the Camarilla is, I could see how it could anger some.
The prince is a little bit green. It wouldn't be my choice for ruler.
He is, green indeed. Green and distracted, a very deadly combination.
But I'm working on changing some things in the city.
So have I wandered into the midst of a politician then?
Oh, many people wander in and out of my web, if that's what you mean.
I suppose that's what I could mean. Of course, I
I
don't
don't
know.
have particular plans on entangling you in it,
Well, that's good.
unless you try and get in my way. But I doubt a woman like yourself, with intelligence and grace and good common sense, would do so.
When you have appetites like mine, it does not pay to rock the boat. It simply pays to remain on it. Sometimes as a stowaway, sometimes as the distant guest. So I don't see myself getting in your way unless your way happens to somehow intercede with mine through some very fortuitous set of circumstances.
Well, that's good. Hooray.
Now, if you were to compete with me for the flesh trade, then we might butt heads, but I don't really see you indulging in such things, in all honesty. Though I imagine you're not that poorly equipped to partake.
I once was a different kind of flesh trade, but that was an age ago. I have no interest in re-entering it in any regard now.
I think you misunderstand me when I say flesh trade.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. I was just playing with the words a little.
Sam will make her way off the couch slightly and sort of crawl over towards Camilla and sit next to her on the couch and lean within about a foot of her and whisper, "Are you sure? Have you ever tried it?"
I have the capacity to partake if I wish, yes.
You might like it.
But my tastes are somewhat fussy.
I'm sure they are when dealing with my predilections, but I would have to say that you do seem like someone that is well versed and well traveled. Certainly, you must be at least somewhat curious.
I am curious about many things, but my sire taught me a lot about how one can sample the flesh in many regards. She tips her head very slightly. Not exactly giving you a look, but it's the inclination's there. Perhaps she thought about doing something and then decided against it.
Sam's gonna look at the slight lift up of Camilla's chin slightly, and she'll sort of just look at Camilla's neck, trying to tempt me, perhaps.
We all have our weaknesses. Thankfully, mine is well controlled.
For now, it is. But I see you sitting there, almost as if you were offering your neck for just a moment, trying to tempt me with what you might taste like, I'm sure. But I don't like being on anybody's leash.
I don't intend to put you on one. I think
It's
you
good to know.
might be a creature of the wild. And it's a shame to cage things that are born free-spirited.
Free-spirited? That is a term that's not been often associated with me. My sire called me calculating but frivolous. She told me that I have a very keen intellect, but that I choose, whether consciously or unconsciously, to ignore facts and do whatever it is that I feel will entertain me at the time.
Hmm.
But then again, she's never been one exactly to focus either. Hence my current situation.
My own sire thought I was too sentimental.
Holding on to the past?
He does not have the same regard for life or individuality that I have. He sees people as experimental objects rather than persons unto themselves, and he has a very skewed view of beauty.
Hmm.
But he's a very intelligent man, and I always respected him, despite our differences.
So you regard all human life with a certain morality that you gained from your past experiences.
I don't believe in you know, killing without reason. That's what you're asking. These people are not objects to me.
Hmm.
I respect human life, but I understand that sometimes it must be taken for practical reasons, such as one's own survival.
Sam will stand up at this and offer out a hand to Camilla.
Camilla takes her hand.
And Sam will simply sort of coax her to her feet to lead her down the hallway.
She follows.
And Sam will then open up the bathroom. And Camilla can see the naked woman laying in the bathtub. The water mixed with a bit of blood, looking very sort of a deep but clear ruby red, almost black in some ways. But you'll see that the woman's lips have been sewed shut, her eyes are tear stained, the both arms chewed and bitten off all the way just above the elbow, feet bound together and bound to the faucet of the tub itself with a bit of looks to be very sturdy wire. You said without good reason. What would you constitute as a good reason? And as she walks in, Sam is going to focus very intently on or on Camilla's features, trying to study them and discern any tells that she can get off of that?
If you, yeah, I got 3 successes, so
Okay.
on my manipulation subterfuge.
I'm gonna spank willpower into this and hope for the best. Nope. Even with the specialty, that's not enough. Damn.
She seems to have a stony face to this scenario.
And Sam simply walks and sits down at the edge of the tub. Easy style tub. Come sit with us, Miss Camilla.
Is she still alive?
Oh, the girl is, at this point, looks like she's given up struggling, but she's still terrified and very much alive.
For what purpose do you prolong her suffering?
He told me not to go around killing and maiming just for the sake of doing so. So this one has been my monogamous donor.
Make another roll.
I'll see what I can do on my end here.
That was not a good roll.
Uh,
Only 2 successes.
well, let's see what happens here. None for me. God damn it.
Camilla turns her head slightly. She doesn't seem to be... Her face doesn't change as such, but she does turn her head away very slightly.
You requested me to keep a low profile. This one was something of a vagrant, a bit trashier than I'm normally used to dining on. But she did come home so willingly. Now here we are. The people of your dear, dear city kept safe. And this one, well, while she may have been in better states in previous days, previous weeks, she has kept me rather sated.
I'm going to make an intelligence medicine roll. Not that I have a lot of medicine, but... How likely is it that the woman would survive if she was released? I'm wondering.
Physically, she looks like she's actually being maintained through not medical means, or not complete medical means. As in, there's not a lot in the way of suturing other than her lips, or her lips being sewn shut. So it is likely that this woman is being fed VtM. So chances are she'd probably survive. But all in all, I don't think. I think
Wow.
there's psychological scarring there. So
That is a botch.
on a manipulation subterfuge roll,
Yeah.
then I'll let you describe that one.
Camilla sort of looks... She steps a bit closer into the room as she feels she can handle it. And she gives the woman a sweeping look. There seems to be a processing in her eyes as if she's... You can probably tell that she's trying to figure out the physical state of the woman, whether she's... how alive and conscious and capable of functioning she is. And something comes over Camilla. and you can see the disgust and slight tinges of anger wash over her features. The stony demeanor breaks for a few moments.
Sam will stand up, and Camilla can actually hear the sounds of footsteps on the tile as Sam comes up behind Camilla and very gently places her hand on Camilla's shoulders and sort of stands behind her and just sort of whispers into her ear. You said I was something of the wild, something of nature. I do have a base instinct. Now, you could sit here and hate me for this. And I bet you there's part of you that does. But a few things to consider. With her here, I'm not terrorizing your city and not falling on its citizens just randomly. She could last me for months, and I could sustain her for just as long. Moreover, I'm following your directives, of course.
This isn't... She started a sentence and doesn't finish it. She would be more turmoiled by this if she still clung to her morals of humanity. I mean, it's not the humanity that bothers her. It's the honor in it. It's the... Torture is not part of her path of ethics. And so he finds the concept of it uncomfortable.
Go on, Camilla. Tell me what's on your mind.
Perhaps it is best if I leave.
Is it now? You've come to visit me, and I don't get many visitors. It's very comforting to have you around.
I can't say it comforts me very much to be back in this environment again.
Do you think me an evil creature?
I don't think that you're evil. No, you simply do what you must do to survive. But I do not like to see things tortured. Life and unlife and taking of life is of no real consequence to me. But it is not honourable to torture your opponents, your prey, your victims. You either kill them or you do not kill them. There's no in between.
Sam sort of puts a gentle squeeze on Camilla's shoulders. Torture. Is that what you think I'm doing?
Well, this woman is alive enough to scream, otherwise you wouldn't have sewn her mouth.
Of course, if she had screamed, then I would have been forced to silence her. If she were given the ability to move her legs freely, she would run, and I would have to do much the same. She is prey, and well-sustained and well-maintained prey. While the end result might seem torturous to you, I can assure you that is not the goal here. It's not what I'm here to do. I keep her company. I speak kindly to her. Reassure her that, well, an end will come to it eventually. And that I'm thankful for her sacrifice. Don't mistake me, I'm not intending to be cruel to her, though it is a side effect of my predilections.
And Camilla bows her head very slightly. She seems to accept what you've said, but doesn't particularly want to hear any more of it. She takes a slight step back. You must forgive me, but it's a little bit reminiscent of my youth. You and my sire would have had much to talk about.
We might have, or we may not have. I doubt that your sire and I are exactly alike.
Oh no, but we share some same practices and views and opinions, let's say.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. When the time comes for her to finally expire, it will be quick and it will be swift. And that will be all there is to it.
Very well.
But in the meantime, here she is. Perhaps in time the blood will work its magic and she'll beg me for more. She'll beg me to eat off of her. It will be a great, great thing to feed that which gives her a rather potent sensation. From the blood, of course.
Perhaps.
It's not uncommon from my circles for the ghouls to become fanatical. But this one is hardly worthy of being any sort of servant or retainer. She simply is serving her purpose as she is right now.
Camilla bows her head again, politely, accepting what you said, but offering no more to it.
No, no, Jamila. And she steps back to the side of the tub. If you really wanted to understand it, if you really wanted to grasp what it is that I am, and maybe either find a peace with it, you could partake.
I'm sure you would enjoy that.
As an academic, I would find your expressions, your mannerisms, things of that nature very intriguing. But there's also a part of me that would like to see if you're capable of understanding.
Hmm. Perhaps one day I will. But not tonight.
Hmm. truly a shame. But even if I wanted to, I don't think I could force you.
It would be a unwise choice.
Perhaps, though I must admit I don't think you know much about me. Perhaps I am some Methuselah.
Perhaps. Though I doubt a Methuselah will have said that.
Perhaps the Methuselah wishes to keep you off guard.
Mm.
But then again, I suppose I'm not hiding in some crypt and sending pawns out to deal with these sort of things. So I suppose that disqualifies me right there.
Maybe. But, I have learned a fair bit about you in this past few meetings.
Oh, do tell.
Camilla seems amused, casting her mind away from the body in the bathtub.
You want to make a perception and or empathy roll and figure out why she might have said that.
All the rubbish rolls today. Too bad. Depending on what the difficulty is.
That's a fair few successes, actually. Um, she's trying to make no attempt to hide it. She is actually steering the conversation away from the body in the tub, almost as if she's trying to be hospitable to Camilla.
I like to keep my opinions to myself. But suffice it to say that you have, from what I observe, a very high intellectual capability and perhaps a little bit of a no, I've completely lost the word in my brain. You seek to tempt others into things. You are a temptress. That I can admire. But they don't call me the Stone Rose for nothing. I'm not easily tempted.
Well, perhaps not, but not even over just yet, she says as she stands up, and as she does, she sort of bends at the waist and places a very small peck atop the woman's head in the bathtub. Now you rest easy here, child. I'll be back. I'll continue to read. And she steps out of the bathroom, allowing Camilla to exit first.
And Camilla exits and looks towards the door and says, I have a few prior arrangements this evening, but I wanted to come and check on you first, and I'm glad to see that you're doing well.
I'm somewhat touched you thought of me, as busy as I'm sure you are.
I'll be in touch with you, I'm sure, and be keeping an eye on your progress.
Well, feel free to stop by. I don't normally wander. There's not much for me to do here, and going out requires a bit of dolling up, in a manner of speaking.
Mm.
But all the same, Thank you for coming to visit me, Camilla. It was refreshing.
And Camilla smiles and gives her a bow, more of a flamboyant one than before. And then she makes her way towards the door.
Sam will follow her only to shut the door behind her and lock up once again.
And Camilla heads out.
Sam rests back against the door with a smirk on her face. Temptress. Ah, Monique, if only you could be here now.